I'm here with AJ Mirzad, aka the Online Super Coach, and he's a mutual friend of mine. I was recently introduced to him. And tell us about yourself. What do you do exactly?
Well, in a very simple way, I help people find their superpowers and build a whole online business out of it. You know, I think everyone has an amazing gift, their unique ability, and they can build a whole business out of it where they're enjoying what they do. They're in a place of flow and creativity, and they just have people where they help, and everything falls into place.
Talk about flow. That's a recent concept to me. I was told that if you want to be happy, the best state to be in is the state of flow, where you're doing something you really enjoy and you lose track of time. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Flow is a beautiful thing where it's like you're in a beautiful state where you lose track of time and space. Your energy, your creativity just flows throughout that entire experience. And I think that we have moments in our day where we experience flow. And the whole thing is why not make money while you're in a flow state? You know, that's my whole philosophy. So there's a way you could help people be at your absolute best, but at the same time monetize it, you know?
So what puts you in that state of flow?
I think my superpower is to inspire people into action. So right now we're recording live on all these different cameras, and I'm gonna stay to flow.
We don't even know where to look.
I lose track of time and space.
Hit the like button to show some support.
Yes, show some love.
Show some love and support.
Exactly. But the whole thing is when you lose track of what you're doing, when you're with someone, you have a great conversation, and you forget the time. You're like, what the fuck? What time is it? What am I talking about? You lose track of everything.
Yeah.
That's pure flow to me. Yes.
So how did you get into the online coaching business?
I think it was trying to heal my own pain, you know, because I had so much passion in my life, but I didn't know how to monetize it. So it was how can I make money doing what I love to do, you know?
Okay.
And I learned marketing and sales and how to deliver something that people love. So I was I need to teach people how to do this, you know, because for many years I struggled financially on living my dream. And once I cracked the code, I was I have to teach it to other people.
So I was listening to one of your podcasts, and you mentioned that you had to change your state of mind. You had to make a shift before you decided to get in shape. And I was just curious to know, what shift did you have to make as far as being successful and making this a business for you? Because I'm sure it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So on a daily basis, we add value to people, right? So we add value, we help people out. But the secret of success is doing two things consistently. One is adding value, helping people, and then making offers, you know? There's a lot of people that add so much value in the marketplace, but they're not making offers. They're not saying well, here's a way to work with me, you know? So your main objective as a coach, an expert, a person who adds value is to give and then say, here's an opportunity to buy something that I've created or work with me as a coach. You know?
So I have a good question for you. For example, I do online coaching.
Yes.
I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years, and I outgrew my audience. I outgrew my market. I outgrew my followers, and I even outgrew my clients, kind of.
Yes.
Because I am constantly on a personal growth mission. And I came a long way since I started in 2013. So I'm just curious to know, what do you do in that situation? Because I feel I kind of feel stuck, because I developed this brand, and the person that I was is who I was attracting as clients, honestly. And now I'm not that person. I want nothing to do with that person. And I don't feel fulfilled because I'm not getting what I deserve, because it's just a totally different market. Does that make sense? And
Makes total sense, yeah.
Of course it does to you, but how do I change? Where do I start? I'm so overwhelmed. So I'm totally new to this industry. It's been 5 years, but when I say new, I mean I didn't have any outside help. So I honestly was kind of winging the whole thing. And I do a great job with my clients, and I have the strategy. I feel as though I'm so good at what I do that I can get anybody results. I'm amazing, but I just don't have the business, the marketing side. I don't have that experience. So everything happened by default by accident and only succeeded it's only been working because I do a good job.
Yes.
With
yes,
people.
You get great
because I
results.
genuinely care and
You give a fuck.
And they know that. Yeah.
So the whole thing is like people follow you for a reason, right? And the
Yeah.
greatest thing you do as a social media influencer is to find out the exact reason why people follow you. And a great question to ask your followers is this simple post. What is one word you would use to describe me? So people will tell you why they follow you.
Yeah.
So Marjan, I follow you because you're inspirational.
They say that.
You're authentic. You're real. So they share that, and because of that, you have to create more content that's more relevant to how people view you, you know? Because people are taking time out of their day to watch your videos, to subscribe to your lives, right? And because of that, you have to figure out, like, what do I create more of, you know? And the whole thing is your followers will tell you what they want from you. And at the same time, like, a great question to ask is like, you know, if I were to create a program based on these specific goals and this specific outcome, would you invest in it, you know? If they say yes, then create that. So the whole thing is you have to ask your followers, survey them, what do they look forward to getting from you?
Yeah.
And two is what do they want to invest and what do you have to create?
I feel as though when I ask that question, I get so many different answers.
Yes.
And it's frustrating because sometimes they'll say, what do you guys want to see? What should I post? I'll ask a question. I'll
Yes.
even take a poll. And then I'll do it. I'll listen to the one person and then everyone else is upset. And it's almost like you can't please everyone. So I feel like in general, I feel like you have to do what you believe in.
Yes.
What you want to do because you have followers from different, you know, age ranges.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like you'll see a pattern. You'll see a pattern of like people that are very like intense about what they want from you, and you see the pattern. You know,
Yeah.
they want like inspiration, motivation. Obviously, like 80% of people.
The pattern for me.
Yes, and I can see that from you as well. So your gift is to give more inspiration and motivation as opposed to like fitness tips and exercise tips.
Yeah.
If you give to what the people want, they will invest in you, and they'll see you as taking them to the promised land, essentially.
Yeah. So one thing I struggle with a lot is I have a lot of clients who they love me, they say I motivate them and they're so excited, and then when they start the plan, they basically don't follow the plan, and that for me is frustrating because I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make it drink it.
Okay.
And what do you do in that situation for your business? Because I'm sure you have clients who don't follow your advice and it's frustrating because you work hard and you care and then you feel let down, disappointed. Do you ever feel that way?
Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, like as a coach, as a service provider, you have to like get people into
You're
why they
emotionally involved.
hired you. Exactly.
I'm so emotionally involved with my clients' progress and success. I almost get angry.
Yeah.
I almost get mad.
Yeah.
And I had to try to be more gentle with how I used to give a lot of tough love because it would work.
Yes.
But I started to feel bad. And I honestly feel like, so if I'm like being very lenient with them, they won't try hard. And I don't want to be a tough guy and a hard ass. Like I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. I hear what you're saying. You don't want to be like abrasive. At the end of the day, like, you know,
and
let's say
kind of gangster.
people work with you for a specific reason, right? So like the moment they sign up, they want an outcome, right? And that's like their big why. So many times, like let's say a person wants to lose weight, right? So like they sign up for you to like get this dream body.
Yeah.
That's their big why. And then all of a sudden they see the plan you give them and the work that's required to it, and they lose motivation, right? But you have to bring them back to their why. Like, why the fuck do you want to do this, right? Is it to get laid? Is it to, you know, find
My
love from your
clients are
husband?
mostly women. They don't
no,
have
exactly.
that problem.
But I'm saying a woman's like trying to be attractive and to get attention from the opposite sex, whether it's her husband, boyfriend, or some dude on Tinder, right? So the whole thing is like, what is the why behind it? So you have to bring them back to their why. You know, what's the big outcome? Because like emotional inspiration goes a very long way. So if you try to do things very logically, like follow this diet, eat this food, do this workout, it's not going to work. You have to like get people back into their deep emotional driver.
So I do. I go really hard for my clients. I go out of my way. I actually do way more than is expected. And I think sometimes I even wonder if I'm crazy for how, I'm not kidding, for how much time sometimes I'm investing per email. Sometimes the email is like this long and it's all me.
Okay.
I take it very seriously, and then I almost feel like they get embarrassed because they're not following the plan, and then they don't want to tell me, and then they kind of like they're scared.
Yeah.
And I respect the fact that they at least feel somewhat accountable for their actions, but it's not my so at least they're not blaming me.
Yes.
So that feels good, but they always get results because of the strategy is so good and it's so simple.
Yeah, the strategy's dialed in, but it's all about the application, right?
So that's why I feel as though I need to charge more for my services because like I just mentioned, so for a long time, I think this is going to go into a good subject. Good conversation.
The more you pay attention.
The more you pay, the
fucking charge more, and you get committed people. Yes.
So my clients, for you guys who don't know, the majority of them are like young women, and they're a lot of them are single moms, and so I started my Instagram 4 or 5 years ago, and I was younger and less experienced, and at the time. So long story short, to get to the, he's laughing because I always say that and I never get, you guys know I don't ever get to the point. But basically I outgrew them. And so right now I want to give more, but I can't for what I was charging previously. So how do I make the transition from making it like a McDonald's into like a, I don't know.
Ruth Chris.
Whatever that is.
Yes. So the whole thing is it's all about the value add to the marketplace, right? So like obviously people don't value like fitness and nutrition as high as transformation. We're in the information age, so a person can go on Google or YouTube and find the exact information to like lose weight, make money, to look better, right? But you're about selling your personality. People don't buy coaching, they buy coaches. So if they're gonna work with Marjan, there's a whole like process to that, right?
Yeah.
So you're paying more for you and what you provide. You provide more than fitness and nutrition. You provide like motivation, inspiration, your own personal backstories. So you have to go back into like, how can you add more value to like what you provide, and how you position that as opposed to the commodity type of result, if that makes sense.
I don't have any problem coming up with the value and the quality.
Okay.
Trust me. When I tell you, so I don't have that. I don't have the most confident. I'm not the most confident person in the world. I actually feel uncomfortable sometimes to ask for what I deserve. And that's what I'm asking you is how do I transition from charging $350 to like $3,500?
Yeah.
Because I truthfully, if someone said, hey, how much should I pay you to do your best? I don't even feel comfortable going low, giving a low number at all. And I know if I gave that number to my current following, they'd be like, yeah, whatever.
I know, but the whole thing is like,
I don't have that money. I can't afford that.
The whole thing is you provide more than just fitness and nutrition. It's about like, okay.
And I can't not provide more. I honestly can't.
But the point I'm saying is like, it's better to have less clients who pay more who have the bigger transformation. Like if a person paid you $10,000 a month, like $120,000 a year, what type of service would you provide compared to a person who paid you $300 a month? It's like apples and oranges. So you have to say to yourself, like, if a person works with you, what's like the biggest change you can make in their life? And focus on working with less people, charging a lot more to have a bigger transformation. That
makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
I tried that, to be honest with you. Okay. So I'm actually thinking about that experience and how traumatizing it was. But I think I need to change the market. I need to change that. I think that was the problem. Because it's hard to find those clients when you have spent years creating this specific fan base. You can't expect them to all of a sudden
pay a lot more money.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't. If you went to McDonald's and you ordered something from the dollar menu, and then the next week it was $1,000, you would be like, yeah, right.
Yeah, but the whole thing is you kind of like cushion people and just say, listen, I'm creating a premium program. And because of this premium program, there's obviously, it's gonna, cost more, but it's like my best transformation, kind of like if a person says like, I'm gonna create this amazing software like Apple, right? Like they say, we're gonna create the iPhone X. It's gonna be like beyond anything we've ever created. Technology, design, everything. So people are kind of like primed to know that the Apple X phone is gonna be like a lot more expensive, right? So you have to like hype people up and be like, I'm gonna create this, and they're gonna get this outcome. They're like, all right, my God, this is like Marjan's flagship program. So it's a different type of like relation to like what you normally do.
No, I get it.
People love new opportunities. When you create a new opportunity that's like, this is the greatest thing I've ever created, people are like, holy fuck, I want in that new opportunity.
Let's go more into what drives you and like the mindset stuff, just
Okay.
because this stuff is probably going to be a little more boring to them. I just realized that. But so what do you do when times get hard? When you have just everything, when shit just seems to hit the fan
Yes.
all at once, kind of like what I experienced earlier today.
Yes.
What would you do in that situation? Like, what do you say to yourself in that moment?
Absolutely. So like the biggest thing is like when shit hits the fan, it's like, shit happens, but it's not really what I'm upset about, I realize that like whatever I perceive as my story, So let's say if I get into a car accident, the car accident's a fact. Car is another car, that happens, but my perception of that experience creates my story. So do I create a story that serves me or a story that disempowers me? So I look at my thoughts and I look like, all right, how do I perceive this situation? And the story they create, is it really helping me or hurting me, So life happens, but what makes us suffer is our perception, So let's say, for example, I drive and I get a parking ticket or whatever, speeding ticket, right? So car stops me, police says, you've been speeding.
Yeah.
Stop, here's the fine, $100, okay? I could be like, oh, I fucked up my day. Why did I have a $100 ticket? Why did this guy stop me? Everyone else is going, That's a perception. That's a very negative perception. Or because be like, you know what, this guy stopped me for a reason. I was speeding. I take responsibility for doing the wrong thing. Maybe if he didn't stop me, I would have fucking gone to a car accident and died,
Oh, okay.
That's like the reframing. Optimism, exactly. So in life, you have situations, but you can reframe that situation to work to your benefit. And the more you realize that things work to your benefit, you realize like, life happens for you. You break up with someone, that happens for you to lead to a better person. You lose a job, you start a business.
Let me ask you a good question.
Yes.
I've been trying to improve myself, and my followers know this, so I'm not ashamed.
Exactly.
I'm not ashamed of anything, guys.
Yes.
So pretty much, how long did it take you to go from that habit, the bad habit of letting shit hit the fan and it's spiraling out of control and kind of taking over? Because I'm at a place where it doesn't, but sometimes I still struggle.
Okay.
Like in the moment, I do say to myself, "What is the worst case scenario? Well, nothing. I'm not dead. I'm not gonna die. This is not a big deal." I do that, but it doesn't always work out 100% the way I would like. So how long did it take you? Because I do see a lot of progress, but I feel like I have a long way to go, and I'm just curious to know, how long did it take you to go from negative to positive?
Yeah, absolutely. So being in a positive state of mind is like being in a very like abundant state, where I have like a lot of energy and a peace of mind. So like I love to live in a place of peace of mind where everything's like calm, chill, happy.
I do too.
Yes.
I just don't know how to do it.
No, but the whole thing is like you could feel it, So like if I have certain thoughts, my peace of mind goes to negativity, where I get angry or get upset. So I'm very aware of my moods. Mm-hmm. So the moment I go down, I calibrate myself and be like, all right, I'm feeling depressed, feeling anxious.
What if you don't have time to do that? What if you're doing a speech?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get like just say someone in the back row is like, your mom just passed or something.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just giving an example. You don't have that time to make, like for example, my situation today, I felt as though I didn't have the time. I really felt like I didn't have the opportunity. You know what I mean? So
yes.
what do you do in that situation?
Well, I realized that life is about just the stories we tell ourselves, right? So I have imagined psychology, and a big part of it's our whole perception of life is the story we tell. In the moment you tell a story, you say, this is my experience, and this is why I'm happy or why I'm sad, So I become very aware of the story I'm telling myself, and I'm in this situation, how can I be the happy, abundant person, be positive, So in a split second, if I'm giving a speech and my mom comes in the back of the row and all of a sudden I feel a negative emotion, a negative story.
Like a trigger to some kind of traumatic history. So it could get really deep for a lot of people, and it's kind of hard to even explain. But
no, exactly.
It's
the point is I feel pain in my heart, and I say I don't want to feel this pain because life is about being happy and feeling love and abundance. So I want to be in a place of love, happiness, and peace of mind. So why would I suffer and subscribe to a story that doesn't serve me? So if I believe in a story, I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to give a bad speech, and everyone around me is going to suffer. So I say how can I reframe this so it works in my favor? It might sound a little delusional, but at the end of the day, it's life is not static. It's not okay, these are the facts of how life is. Life is your perception, right? So the moment something bad happens to you, you can perceive it as the worst thing that happened to you, or I'm a victim. Why does this happen to me? Or it's okay, this is a lesson for me. How can I learn from this to become better? So in every moment, I say to myself what will make me feel good, right? Because I feel for me, feeling good and being happy is the purpose of life. As long as I feel good and be happy, things happen in my favor. Exactly. I'm in a peak state, right? So I have creativity, insights that I would never have if I'm feeling depressed. If I'm in bed, I'm feeling depressed or anxious, I'm doing no good for society. So if I'm happy, peaceful, and productive and proactive, then I could give back. So how can I look at everything that happens to me in a positive way?
Yeah. All right, next question. What's your favorite motto, quote, or do you tell yourself, I know you said you have a Team No Pants, and you have this other wristband that has a saying on it that helps you when times get hard. Do you have a motto that you live by, or
absolutely,
what is it?
That's to maximize this moment, meaning that the present moment is all we have. So right now, as you're watching this is it. Life does not exist beyond this moment. So how can I enjoy this moment to the fullest? Because if I think about my past or the future, I fucking shit on the present moment. So if I enjoy this for what it is, and I say it's the greatest moment of my life, then life capitalizes, So every moment I have, it's how can I enjoy the moment and make the most of it, And that's about just how can I make this better? How can I use my mind to enjoy this? How can I have a great conversation to make the most of this person in my presence?
Yeah.
How can I just be in a place where I'm at peace and feeling love, Because the moment is where it's at, but the problem is we live in our minds, the past, the future, stuff that doesn't exist. So if life is now, why not live now to the fullest extent? That's my philosophy. As long as I live by that, everything just falls into place.
Why are you laughing? Tell them. I'm just going to look for more because...
Okay, why am I laughing?
Yeah, why are you...
Because I just realized and point of view that really is true to me, So that boosts my state. When I laugh, when I become happy, it's this is the truth,
Yeah.
You become aligned to what is real. I think sometimes we have mottos because we've had realizations that teach us this is the way to be, As opposed to what someone else says. Everyone has their own truth. Everyone knows internally what brings them up, what brings them down. And the whole thing about life is how can I operate in a way that I'm happy, loving, productive, high energy all the time? And it's you have a certain frequency. It's when you go on the radio, it's frequencies, right? So you tune to a different station, you feel this song is really good because I tuned into that, right?
Yeah.
I feel the human experience is a frequency. How can I be in a frequency that's my highest self? Be in a place of love, appreciation, high energy, and just giving, That's a state of being. If you become that person, life just flows with ease.
It's all right. It just disappeared.
All good.
What's your favorite book, or what book would you recommend to someone who wants to start their own business but has no idea what to do? Because I get that, I do get that a lot. I get a lot of people tell me they want to quit their job but they don't know what to do. How could they basically make money like doing something they love, and they have no experience with online work business? They don't know what to do.
So many years ago, I had a really tragic near-death experience. And put me in a coma for like 7 days, but it made me like relook at life through a whole different lens. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that I got out of that near-death experience was knowing that like life is now, you know?
In the moment.
In the moment, exactly. So I came across this book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And that one book made me realize that like, this is it. Now is all that exists. So if I enjoy life to the fullest moment, then everything magnifies. If I think about the past or the future, then I belittle this moment. So that one book made me realize that like if I live in the moment and I maximize every moment, then I'll have the best life possible.
Good enough. Do you have anything you want to share, like with my audience or yours? Any advice to someone who wants to start an online business but has no idea how to start?
Absolutely.
Hi.
Mel,
what's up?
Christian says, love this.
Thank you, Christian. Yes. I appreciate it.
The biggest thing is to understand marketing and sales, you know, because I think everyone has an amazing skill to give, whether it's like helping people lose weight or helping them become less depressed or have more sex, have a better relationship. But that's the skill. That's the superpower, right? But it's like, if you have the superpower, you're good. You have an amazing ability to help someone. But it's understanding marketing and sales, meaning that like in a split second, if you want to generate income, you have to understand how to market yourself and how to sell your services.
How did you learn that? Did you go to college for it? Did you take any courses? How did you learn that?
Well, I studied psychology for many years, you know, and that psychology of human behavior. So you understand how people tick and what they do. And then I studied a lot of books about marketing. I hired marketing mentors, and I learned how to attract the right people into your world, you know? So if you have an online program or a seminar, or you're selling something, you have to create leads. You have to attract people into your world. So there's different ways to go about that. And then once you attract them into your world, you have to sell your services, right? Yeah. So a lot of it's adding value. So if you're a person who has an amazing superpower or skill, you have to add value on a daily basis. You add value, feel like, I want what you are talking about, you know? And then you say, here's my offer, here's my program, you know? So at the end of the day, everyone has something to give, but many times they're afraid what people think about them, or they're afraid to ask for money. But if you're asking for money,
I'm afraid to ask for how much I'm worth because I know they can't afford it. Because they're used to paying, I used to charge $24.95 when I started. And I was selling a lot of plans, but $24.95.
Devaluing yourself, yes.
But to be honest with you, it was very, I don't think it was a bad thing because they didn't have many high expectation besides just following the simple plan.
Yes.
And they all got results. So they were very happy because it was cheap and they couldn't afford anything expensive. They were literally telling all their friends. So it was a lot less work for me. And honestly, sometimes I would charge, like the higher packages would sell, but that one would sell so many more because it was more affordable.
Lower price, yeah.
The audience was just young. The audience was like college students, single moms. So it kind of makes sense.
So like what I teach my students is like have a simple business where you could like take on less people and have a bigger transformation, you know? Just like if someone pays you $10,000 a month to work with them, like what type of transformation would you provide? You know, that's a world of difference than a person paying you like $100 a month, you know?
Absolutely.
So it's like working with less people, having a bigger impact. That's like the secret of business. This is very simple too, because if you charge very low for your services, people don't follow it. People don't take it seriously. So charge more.
But a lot more people buy it, and I noticed that a lot.
Yeah, but they're like dabblers. You know, they're not serious. Like I don't remember the last time I bought a low price program and took it seriously.
Why do you think most of the biggest, most popular social media influencers do that? They do. They even charge like $9.99 or $4.99 for a subscription service. And I always assumed it was because they knew they would make more because they'd get more subscribers. And then that's like one of their 7 sources of income. And it was like an easy, effortless way to make money. I noticed that a lot of them do that.
It's kind of controversial, but like some people focus on making money, some people focus on adding value, you know? So like if you're focused on like making money, you could charge
it's not about that.
Yeah.
I feel like all of them kind of at least they want to add value. But the thing is, you have to make money in order to survive to add the value in the first place. Like you guys know that. See, I know people who work jobs and they're afraid to quit and follow their passion because they don't know how they're going to pay their bills. So you need to make money. So obviously you have to charge something. It's not about not wanting to add value. It's about wanting to get what you deserve and trying to survive in the process.
Yeah, but I'm saying like someone could like create an ebook for like $9.97 and they could put information on the ebook or charge $1,000 for coaching and have a bigger impact on a person's life. Some people just focus on like how can I sell product and just make money on like, you know, the low end as opposed to creating a transformation, you know. Some people sell information, some people create transformation.
Yeah.
So if you look at your own business model, you say, how can I have the biggest impact on people? That's going to require my time and my energy. You focus on something that actually serves as opposed to like download this and follow this, but I'm not going to hold you accountable, you know? So it's like 2 different models, but the whole thing is like I'd rather have less people having a bigger result that charge more money as opposed to a bunch of people that don't really follow it by the low price, you know? So
I
you have
stopped
to choose.
doing that a long time ago, but they can't afford what I want to charge.
We have to like charge more and also
rebrand.
rebrand yourself and position yourself as a person who creates a bigger transformation, you know? Like, don't just sell anything just to make money. Sell something that transforms someone's life. You know, that's the biggest way to look at it. Like, if a person comes into my world, how can I serve them at the highest level? Like, that's the most important thing, you know? Like, let's say, for example, a person has 100 clients or a person has 10 clients, you know? Let's say the people that 100 clients, they get mediocre results. Some of them don't follow, some of them fall off. But a person has 10 clients, they have the most amazing 10 transformations. Exactly. That's more fulfilling and that's more rewarding for both parties, you know? Because if I hire someone, I'd rather pay more to get an expert as opposed to paying less and getting an amateur, you know?
Yeah, definitely. What question do you have for someone who is confused about what to sell?
You know, a question I ask my students is, what pain do you want to heal in the world?
What pain do you want to heal in the world?
Yes. Typically, you've overcome a pain that you have expertise in. So why not sell something that you've already understood? You know, let's say if a person lost 100 pounds, that's a very excruciating pain that a lot of people deal with. But they've been on that journey, so they want to look at other people that are 100 pounds overweight and help them with that pain, you know? Or if a person has been depressed for like 20, 30 years, that's a severe pain, depression, suffering on a daily basis, but they've learned natural tools to get over depression. They look at people that are depressed. How can I serve you? How can I make you happy? That's like the best feeling in the world.
That's a really good question to ask them.
Exactly.
I might take a poll.
So you have to ask people like what pain you want to heal in the world, and typically it's something you've overcome yourself.
It's never about fitness or working out or weight. It's always about something more deeper.
It is.
So let's talk about that. So you're aware of the fact that your subconscious influences the majority of your actions, your life. So how did you make the shift from? How did you handle that for your own life, for yourself?
In terms of what you mean?
Like based on the experiences you've had in the past, and you know, having confidence issues growing up and having bad experiences growing up.
Yes.
How did you start believing in yourself, having more confidence and being positive and having energy? And how did you go from victim mentality to let me save other people?
Great question. So, you know, the whole thing is like, you know, if we look back at our lives and we create a life vision, right? So like, let's say if I look at my life vision, it's like, I want to live in this amazing mansion and have events at my house and be in a place where I'm like transforming lives on a daily basis. And be in a place where if I speak knowledge, I change someone, okay? So that's my vision, right? That's the first part of the process. The second part is like, who do I need to be in order to be that exact person, you know? If I want to create seminars where I serve thousands of people and I transform lives, I need to have certain skill sets of communication, persuasion, and influence.
What do you think about in your mind? Like, paint us a mental picture of what do you visualize when you think of who you need to be?
Great question, you know? So basically, I'll tell you about like the life I created now, you know? So 10 years ago, I wrote in my journal of like, this is the ideal AJ, you know, living
Really?
in his dream.
I thought it was my mom. That's cute.
The whole thing is like,
Can she join? I'm just
yes. So the whole thing was like, you know, this whole vision that's like reality right now has been something that I've been dreaming about the past 10 years, you know. I said, if I were to be extremely happy, I would live in this amazing mansion with like 10 bedrooms, open space. I could have seminars in my house and transform lives. Mm-hmm. In order for that to happen, I need to have this space to make that reality. The second part is who do I need to be to become that person? I have to be more confident and persuasive and powerful as a communicator. So I had to like create the version of who I am now 10 years ago based on my vision, you know? Mm-hmm. So a person has a vision of being a top Billboard musician. Let's say they want to be a rapper, right? Uh-huh. So you have to learn how to like freestyle and create beautiful lyrics and be in a place where you entertain people, engage people. So everything that you're doing is like, this is the end result, and who you have to be to become that person. So that's a question to ask. Every evolution of your life requires a different version of you. So whatever your ideal vision is, ask yourself, who do I need to be in order to have that life? And then once you understand that, you become that person through daily habits and rituals and the hard work. Because once you become that person, your life will reflect that end result.
Speaking of daily habits, do you have any habits that you created once you decided to make the shift and you wanted to improve your life, be the best version of yourself? What habits did you change? Like, do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest one that comes up is like being like infectiously positive, you know? So I used to be a very negative person. I used to be very pessimistic, and my whole life was like, man,
how long ago
it's not
was
going to work
that?
out. Like 10 years ago, I was very fucking negative, yeah. I was very like, it's not going to work out, or only people that are successful are lucky. I had a lot of bullshit stories that like held me back, you know?
So how did you go from that mindset to the abundance mentality and not worrying about anything?
Well, I noticed that like when it felt good, I had a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, and shit would happen, you know? If I felt shitty, I would doubt myself or stop myself from doing things, you know? So I realized that when I was more positive and I was more optimistic, I would believe in myself. And when I believe in myself, other people would believe in me as well. But I had more energy, more creativity. If a problem came into my space, I'd be like, this is how I solve the problem. Here's the solution, because I'm in a higher mindset. When I'm in a lower mindset, the problem fucking cripples me, you know? So I realized that my inner state equals my outer reality. And I realized that very quickly, because when I went on the streak of being positive, happy, and optimistic, great things would happen. Beautiful things would attract me to my life. And when I was negative things would happen, like clockwork. And I'm like, holy cow, my inner state equates my outer state. So I realized when I get the inside right, the outside falls into place. It sounds kind of crazy. It sounds really out there. But the more I believed in that, the more that it became my reality, essentially.
Well, just say you're 100% aware of the fact that you're negative.
Yes.
You're 100% aware of the fact that when you... Thank you, Colin. He said, dude, that is so true. I have good eyes.
He's from Australia. Colin,
oh, yeah?
boy. My brother is checking in. Imran.
Hi, Imran. How are you?
Yes.
So just say you're aware of how bad the consequences are. You're aware of how bad it is to be negative. But you're in the habit of it. and everyone around you is negative, how do you, like, what strategy could you offer people to apply to actually get started on making that change? Because this is like a big, it's not like a habit, physical habit. It's a
worldwide issue.
Emotional,
Absolutely,
it's
yeah.
subconscious, it's how does one begin to change their story, in your opinion? Like, what strategy how can they just literally start tomorrow with changing their story?
Well, it comes down to feelings, right? So we're human beings. We operate on emotion. We feel how we feel in the moment. So the moment I feel fucking shitty, depressed, tired, unenthusiastic, there's something wrong, because I calibrate myself. I want to be happy, positive, energized, right? If you look at emotions, they're on a scale from 1 to 10. 1, 2 is angry, frustrated, tired, defeated. I can't do shit with that, right? So if I'm 8, 9, or 10, I'm optimistic, energized, confident. I'm going to take over the world.
So is it pretty much fake it till you make it?
No, but it's like calibration. The whole thing is like
I'm at 2, so let me pretend 10 until I really feel it.
But our true state is to be peaceful, happy, and optimistic, right? When we were children, we were so full of love. There were moments where we were like, anything is possible. We had this amazing, vivid imagination, and we felt like anything was possible. And our parents told a story about a monster or this fantasy. We believed it. We're like, oh my God, Santa Claus is real. The tooth fairy is real.
Is it? No.
Yes. But all of a sudden, something happened where we started to believe that reality is not malleable, that school is difficult, work is hard, politicians control everything, the economy sucks, the media, our parents, society, and our education system limited us.
So
we went to a place that we lost who we truly are, you know? And who we are is our 3 or 4-year-old selves that are unlimited, vibrant, full of life. And if we operate from that state, anything is possible. We go to this place where we feel extremely limited. These stories about how society, school, the media, politicians, they block us, but that's not our true self.
Yeah. So it's interesting because none of that phases me.
Okay.
Like, I don't have that mentality or attitude about any of the above you just explained, but I struggle. I struggle still because I still have those beliefs, and I have every reason to have them considering my history.
Yes.
For you guys who don't know me, I've made a lot of progress, but I still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I have that. It's almost like I get triggered by things. I get triggered by events, and then I feel as though I kind of go right back to where I started, and then that's a very discouraging feeling. And it's almost it feels like it's out of my control for at least a moment. And I'm trying to break that habit. That's
all progress starts with awareness. So you're aware of what holds you back. That's a beautiful gift that you have.
Yeah.
Most people are fucking so clueless of what holds them back. I can't make the money that I want to make. I don't have the love that I want. I can't get in shape because it's out of my control. But awareness, the truth, is so beautiful because you're like, this is the truth of what's holding me back.
Now I just gotta figure it out.
No, but exactly. But you're aware of the truth. You know what's holding you back.
Yeah.
So you face the truth and you find the outcome based on the solution. Right? The more you dig into what's holding you back, the more you can take action on it. Right? So intuitively, we all know what's going to take us to the next level. But the problem is, we don't want to do the work. We don't want to face those demons. We don't want to do the hard work because it's easier to say like, I'm anxious. I'm depressed. My parents, they treat me like shit, so I'll never be happy. The U.S. government takes so much money out of taxes. Why start a business? Donald Trump is in office. I'm screwed. Bitcoin, whatever the fuck the excuse is, it's a bullshit story. You can subscribe to the bullshit story and create a limitation, or be like, you know what? This is my own personal responsibility. If I want to be happy, fit, wealthy, have the most amazing love of my life, here's what's holding me back. We all know what's holding us back. The moment we decide to take action on what's holding us back is the moment our life changes. But we can create the whole victim story and say, this is what's holding me back. It's out of my control. Everything is in our control the moment we face the truth of what is limiting us. Seriously.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I'm definitely not afraid of the truth. I want the truth. It's sometimes I struggle with the strategy on how to actually make it.
Okay, well, let's create an authentic moment here, because publicly, what do you feel is missing in your life?
What is missing in my life? That's a pretty broad question.
What's
I'm trying to kind of relate it
missing to like stop you from achieving the next level of your success?
I definitely doubt, fear, insecurity, just feeling like. So I feel like I know I can do whatever I want. I honestly feel like when I get started, I easily get discouraged, and I don't have support. I kind of have opposite of support. I have like, you're gonna fail,
yes.
and then people telling
resistance.
me, and then that makes it 10 times harder. And obviously, you have to never give up, but that makes it so much more understandable, because it makes you feel like you already don't have the confidence. You already don't have the strategy. You already don't have the tools. And every step you make towards trying, giving it your best effort, you're getting knocked down by people that you love, you respect, and you don't know where to go, and you feel judged, and I genuinely believe that a lot of people don't know what to do, and they don't have they don't know where to start, what idea, like they don't have a person to talk to.
Yeah.
About it.
You just like,
and I'm that person for a lot of my clients, and that makes me sad that of all people in their life, like I'm the person that helps them, and I'm a freaking stranger that they're paying. They should have more support, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I feel like your family should support you, your friends, your community, social media strangers, people you went to school with. I don't understand why it's so hard for majority of people struggle with this stuff. It's not new, like most people can't lose weight and keep it off. Most people can't, and I feel like for a lot of people, they don't have the confidence to trust themselves enough to shun out the voice and the noise of all the negativity around them and all the pessimism. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I honestly feel like you're like one of the only people I ever met like with that mentality. So once I leave here, it's almost like, how am I going to get this vibe back? Like, am I going to have to constantly be watching videos online? And so you have to get obsessed with your goal. And how are you going to do that when you don't have like the positive influence 24 hours a day?
Question,
and then you have reality coming at you, and you have a phone call from that cousin who, the uncle
belittles you.
I mean, I could go on and on and on. And
so the whole thing is like, I've spent my whole life understanding psychology. I got a master's in psychology to understand like what makes people do what they do. In all the years, like 20 years of studying this specific subject, it comes down to two things.
Yeah. One
is your own personal identity. Who do you feel you are, your self-image? The second is your environment, who you spend the most time with, So obviously, when you hang out with me, you feel a sense of unlimited possibilities, happiness, calmness, because I'm a very positive person. So I give that to you. But I'm not around you all the time.
No,
and the other element
I'm
is
gonna
like,
go back to the hood. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go back to people who are gonna be like, no, seriously, they're gonna say, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Go get
I know,
a
but
job.
that's the whole thing. Like, that's your environment. You know what I mean? The whole thing is like, I surround myself with people that are positive, that believe in me.
What if it's your family or?
Yeah,
like,
my family, they do the best they could, but they're in their own old school mindset, But I don't subscribe to their point of view. I love them for who they are, and they did the best they could with what they've achieved, but they're not going to affect my mindset.
Let me ask you this. When you made that shift 10 years ago, did you avoid them for a brief period of time?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the answer.
I had to face some isolation from certain friends and family members who were very negative or very pessimistic about life. Mm-hmm. And I had to face isolation to like recreate my own identity.
Did you feel guilty?
I did not feel guilty.
When they called you to come over for
I did
Christmas?
not feel guilty, not at all, because I knew I had to create a new identity. Because I said it's your environment and your identity. So like, who you are dictates your whole life, your self-image, you know? So if you're a Marjan who's fucking unstoppable, confident, positive, and things happen to your favor, you will attract that. So that's your identity of who you are. If your mom says, life is hard, business is difficult, there's no money out there, people have to screw you over. No, exactly. Your identity is stronger than your outside influences, but what helps your identity is being around positive people that believe in you, that encourage you, that inspire to your dreams. So it's like you have to believe in yourself first and foremost, and then it's the people that you're around, that surround you, that influence your paradigm of life.
I'm surprised that it's still going.
Yes.
To be honest with you. Because mine usually goes after
like
an hour.
My man Ken from Australia, also a student, he says, be ruthless with your attention and who you listen to. So important. So important. Yes.
Wow. I honestly feel guilty when I avoid certain people. Like if they're really close people, I feel guilty. Because what if they died? I guess I worry too much.
Yeah, but the whole thing is like, comes down to the 3-word mantra.
Yeah.
To have 0 fucks given, and to not care about what people think about you. That's the most important thing.
So you don't care what your parents think about you?
No, I don't.
Really?
I don't, yeah. Because everyone has their own like story, you know what I mean? Like they have a story of like what is right and what's wrong. So let's say if my parents feel that my purpose as a human is to get married and have kids, and that's the most important thing for them. You know, that doesn't align with my paradigm of life. My purpose is to be the highest version of myself, to give back, to serve people. If I have a family and if I have kids, that's a bonus, but I'm created for more. So if their purpose is just knock up some woman and have kids with her, then that's their purpose. So I can't live by that value. I live by my value, you know? And some people, they just want you to be like, cool, like let's hang out, have some beers, and smoke some weed. And if Marjan does that, then Marjan is cool to me.
Yeah.
But if you say like, I want to better my life, I want to create $1 million business and help people, then that's limiting you and that's breaking their paradigm. So do you want to live to their standard, or do you want to live to your own standard?
Yeah. I definitely, I think we should change the direction a little bit. Baddest Army! What's up, Israel? That's so funny. Yeah, I don't have my notes in front of me, you guys, so we're just winging this.
Exactly.
I'm supposed to run the whole show?
Yeah, I'm waiting for you. The baddest army.
No, if that's the case, then we have to use my camera. And I have to hold it and move it around.
Okay.
Because I usually don't do it this way, so it feels really awkward for me.
But I think the biggest thing is, I was mentioning, like identity. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like who you are is more important than what you achieve, right? In the moment, you're like, I'm this person. I am specific to be.
Where's Arash? Everyone's always asking me. I wrote in once, Magiman Zanisham. Oh, you don't speak Farsi, right?
I speak Farsi.
You do?
Yes. But it's like going into like 2018, what is one word that will signify your state of being? That's everything.
Oh, you're asking me that.
I'm asking you that. You could answer it so people can understand.
Ask one more time.
So like going into the new year.
Yeah.
What is one word that if you embody this word, you'll progress to the next level? Like what is that?
Optimism.
Optimism.
Action, maybe
okay.
Optimistic action? Is that a thing? Can we make it a thing?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna use this one because
okay.
this one is for this. So I found it very interesting that you mentioned that people need a pain trigger in order to take action. That's what motivated me to take action when I first started improving and losing weight, and then I started a business doing it. And to me, that was like a big successful thing in my life at the time. And I kind of feel like I need more pain, but I don't have it. I feel like I need a struggle. I honestly sometimes feel like I wish I had a really serious struggle that was so big that I had, like, for example, homelessness or something, and
urgency, yeah,
something like dramatic. I don't know. I'm like a all or nothing kind of person. I like to do crazy things, like going on a silent meditation retreat. Like, I think that's awesome, and I feel like something like that would actually work and make a change in me, as long as it's done consistently. Because I can easily go back to certain people and get really discouraged and go right back to where I started. I swear. So, and that's just seems like a pattern. It seems like I'll make all this progress, and then when you go to one person that you genuinely care about and you respect and you want their approval, and they never give it to you no matter what you do, I feel like it really discourages you. So I guess for me, what I found is that I feel like I need to just make a habit out of doing things differently. And I don't really know another answer, because I've tried a lot of different things. See, I started trying to lose weight at 12, and I didn't succeed permanently until 2013. So, and it's not like I was trying the whole time. Obviously, I would give up. I didn't care that much. I would dabble. I would try fad diets or supplements. And it wasn't until I made it a lifestyle change that it actually worked. But if I would have given up sooner, I would never have found that. But it also took me way too long to find the right answer, because I had no idea what I was doing. I was looking all this stuff up online and asking people and getting different advice and different feedback. I was kind of just winging it, going all over the place. There wasn't an actual like step-by-step guide.
Process,
And so I know that applies to my current situation, your current situation. Most people who want to do something, they know that they have to never give up and persist, but sometimes it just takes way too long when you don't have the right tools, the right resources. And that can be really discouraging.
Absolutely.
Especially if you don't have that time.
Yes.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
The whole thing is like, you're created for a reason, right? So like everything you're doing is to like enhance people's lives.
Yeah.
So a big part of it's like the exercise of like writing out your why. Why do I do this? Like, what gets me emotionally inspired?
Honestly,
right? Like,
I have to actually see my client or hear their or read their email.
Okay.
That does it for me every time. But besides that, that's like, that's not every single day. That's like on a certain day of the week, a certain time.
Gotcha. The whole thing is you have to understand like what do you want to do. Like the whole thing is like if you write like what pain do you want to heal in this world, you like write that over and over.
The pain that I'm having, the pain that you had, that's the pain that you want to heal.
Exactly, but the whole thing is like you have to get emotionally
invested.
Exactly. If you start to like write down like how do you want to change the world, and you write line by line, I want to help people lose weight, I want to help them fight depression, I want them to have better sex, to have better relationships. You keep writing like what do you want people to do? What pain do you want to heal? Mm-hmm. What have you overcome yourself? And then once you say that, there's a certain sentence you write, you get so fucking emotional. You're like, oh my God, I'm crying. Why am I crying? Because of this exact sentence. And that's your why. When the emotion comes out, it's like, if I focus on this.
That exercise I told you about.
Yes, exactly. So many people focus on where the money is. But it's not about where the money is, where it's like Bitcoin, weight loss. But a lot of people do, and they focus on where the money is.
I don't even know what
as
Bitcoin
opposed to like.
But I've been hearing about it a lot. It's kind of annoying.
I know everyone's a Bitcoin millionaire. But the point I'm saying is like, it's not about.
Comment below if you know what Bitcoin is. I have no idea.
No, but Bitcoin's great if you're passionate about it, right? If you're not passionate about it, you're doing it just because it's the greatest fad. You're not going to have longevity. Like the question is, how can you create a legacy? You know what I mean? There's certain people that create a legacy because they focus on something that's like very emotionally driven for them. You know, there's a guy, I think his name's Adam Braun, and he created this company called Pencils of Promise. He builds schools in third world countries, Guatemala, Colombia, Kenya, and that's his passion because he wants to build education for these kids. So he enrolls people into his vision. That's like his big emotional why. And because that's like, I think it's like $1 billion company, you know, because he's so passionate about it. And so many people focus on how can I make a quick $1,000 as opposed to like, what will make my heart sing, you know? Once you realize that, everything just like flows, you know? Because you have to focus on what's going to be like your big legacy as opposed to what's going to make me money in the short term.
Yeah, that does not work. When I started, I didn't even want to make money. I was just being myself, and I wanted to help people because I genuinely felt for them, because I could relate to them. They would email me saying things that I could relate to. I felt like I was talking to my old self every single time I received an email. And then I honestly got really, I think, burnt out because I started to change and grow and learn that I actually have a lot more to offer than I thought.
Yes.
And this is actually very time-consuming, energy-draining too, because sometimes they don't listen, and it does take time out of your day to invest that much. I go really hard, so it's kind of hard to explain, but I like go really, really hard. And I remember even my father one day saying like, just, that's too much, you're doing too much. I'm like typing an email on a Sunday while we're all eating dinner.
Yeah. And
it's almost like people don't get it, but that's really the only reason I did it.
Exactly. People don't get it, but that's like your mission, you know?
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, it's like a great thing to think about. It's like, you know, I'll ask everyone this question.
Yeah.
So if you were about to die, you're in your deathbed, right? And all your family, your friends, they were like, you know what? I'm going to like take everything that we do and create a billboard in Times Square for you for the next 100 years. We're going to all chip in our money. If there was one sentence on that billboard, what is one sentence you would want for like all of society to live by? What would be that one line, the one mantra, the one quote that would be like, this is the way to be? What would that be? And I'll ask you the same question.
On your tombstone?
No, yes. On your tombstone,
on
on your billboard for like in the middle of Times Square, like what would that one sentence be?
That's a good question. I don't know. Do you know what yours would be? What would it be?
Well, it'd be to maximize.
The one sentence part makes it hard.
Yes.
Makes it a lot harder.
No, but the whole thing is my whole belief is to capitalize on this moment, right? So like right now you're watching us, you're experiencing this, we're here together.
Yeah.
And this is like where life is right now in this present moment. So you could have the most amazing moment where you're like happy and peaceful, or you're in the moment and you're thinking about the past or the future or what's missing and you suffer. So my whole thing is like, if we live life in the present moment, how can we maximize every moment that we have? So that's why I have it on my wrist to remind me that life is now. And anything outside of this is non-existent. So if I live in the moment, then I live life to the fullest level, you know? So that's what I tell people. It's like, right now, it's just us. We're communicating. You're on this technology. We're here in person. But this present moment will never happen in all of history. And if we live it, we enjoy it, then we're giving the moment our fullest attention.
My life doesn't say these things. So I'm kind of, you're on Facebook. I never go live on Facebook.
Elena says, where can I come to meet both of you?
Aww.
How would you answer that question?
I was going to ask you. I was going to hope you knew the answer to that.
We'll have a seminar a month from now, and January 14th. And she's going to be here, so come to my seminar, and it will meet both of us. That's the next.
Where do you live? And what is your goal right now, Elena?
There you go. While she figures that out. Oh.
I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool. I have my phone's low battery.
Oh yeah. Good thing I captured this.
Yeah.
We're going on and on. Let's just like end this in a very positive way. It's a wonderful. So I told you like my tombstone question that I would tell people to like live in the moment and to like maximize it. But if you had one sentence for all of humanity to live by,
all humanity.
Yes, and you were going to remember for this, what would that be? What's the one word?
To be honest, it would probably be something like, life is too short, live in the moment, enjoy the moment. That's what it would be. I genuinely, yeah. I don't, because I could make this take another hour.
Life is too short. Live in the moment. Enjoy every moment. Okay. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure, if you guys want, but I honestly think it's gonna be another hour because I don't get to the point. I'm one of those women who talks a lot.
This is the final sentence, so just like say whatever's on your mind.
Israel, yes, I have. Basically, so a lot of us we're influenced to want all this stuff and all these things and all these great accomplishments, and I feel like most people don't genuinely want that because humans naturally don't really want that. They just want to have food, love, sex, shelter, and you're good, and to continuously make progress. But you have to actually get into a different mindset and mind frame, and you have to kind of like train yourself and convince yourself to do anything else. That's what I think. Like when I did this show, I had to go crazy. I had to tell myself, you're the best, 6 meals a day, 2-a-days, no rest days, no days off. Pain is weakness leaving the body, and everyone else is weak and they don't even lift. And like you honestly have to start feeling as though this is everything to you. And if you're focusing on, for example, how you look, you're neglecting everything else, your health. How is that success? How is that a good thing? So I honestly, a lot of successful people, they seem like they're aging really quickly, and it's kind of like it's scary to me. And it's, I don't know, I don't think that's like a fear that's holding me back, who knows, but like, sometimes I wonder if I really want anything more than like just having enough and having good experiences with people. And I feel like a lot of people don't actually want what they think they do.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I just keep
Does it
things
even
very
make
simple.
sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But the whole thing is like I just feel like the heart knows what it wants, and it's like if you're just like happy and you feel like okay, this is what I feel that is giving me fulfillment and happiness. You don't really need like what society wants you.
Yeah.
If you're happy like just being single and you have a great life, then it's great. If you're happy being a mother or a father, then that's great. But it's like your heart will dictate what you want as opposed to like what society, the movies, media thinks that's what's happened for you. Because the moment you turn 30, it's like you should be here or there, and that's all bullshit. Like you're exactly where you need to be for your purpose in life. It's not about like you have to be in this place or that place, married with 3 kids, being a millionaire, being retired. The whole thing is like wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. And like once you understand that, then like you're just happy all the time because your purpose of life is to be happy and fulfilled. And when you're happy and fulfilled, things just flow with ease.
That was a good answer.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking. So.
Don't think, just
I'm
be.
thinking about what you just said.
Any final words for
Jerry's final thought?
just express like if people are going to have a great 2018, how would they go about that? What would make
honestly what I would suggest is you take a look at yourself and you don't you know yourself better than anyone else does, and we like to distract ourselves. I found myself doing that, and I had to accept it, and I had to realize it, and I had to ask people for their opinion, for their advice, and I had to get serious, and you have to want pain and embrace the truth. A lot of people hide from it. They run away from it. They want to distract. You have to want it, ask for it, look for it, beg for it, accept it. You have to want pain, because if you don't have pain, why would you seek pleasure? That's kind of...
Boom.
Cheers
to that. Awesome job.
Thank you so much.
That was awesome. Thanks for listening this far, and thanks for the positive vibes.
Yeah. Have a